Okay, in this screencast, I want to show you how we can do a little bit of statistics when we have a linear data set. So here are our data, x, y, and y values, whatever these values are. And in a previous video, I showed you how we can do in Excel a trend line. Get the information, get the gradient, get the intercept and the correlation coefficient for this trend line, for this line of best fit. But sometimes we want to have a little bit more information. So the gradient here gives us just, a point estimate, but we want to know what is the 95% confidence interval in which the true population gradient would be located. And the same for the intercept. What is the 95% confidence interval in which the true population intercept is located? And what we need to do is basically treat our data that we have here and that we have plotted here like any other sample. And in Excel, there is a really cool tool packet that we can use to do this, what is called regression analysis. So what we need to do is we click on one of the data points in our data table. We then go to data here, click on that, and we will find that if installed, we have an option here of data analysis. If it is not installed, there are lots of videos out there that show you how to install this data analysis toolpack. So let's click on that. And it comes up with a list of built-in more complex functions that we can use. So in our case, we want to use the regression function, which is already highlighted. So click OK. And now it is asking us for some values here. I just put it back to where it should be. So we are asked for the input Y range. That is our Y data. So make sure that this field is clicked. And we use the label this time. So just left mouse button clicked. We drag it down so that we've got all of our data. So this is all our data in the Y range. The X range, again, we take the label with us here in this case, left mouse button clicked, and we drag it down like this. So we've got our Y and the X range. We took the labels with us, which is quite useful in this case. So we tick the box that we've got labels. And we say we want a confidence level of 95%. That's this one here. We can choose the output range to be on the same worksheet, or we can just put that into a new worksheet. I leave it with a new worksheet here. It will open a new worksheet and we can look at the data there. So we've done everything. We don't need to worry too much about these things down here. We just simply press OK. And here we have our summary of the data that we want to obtain. So let's make this a little bit bigger, text size a little bit bigger, and so that we can see it a little bit better. Right, so what have we got? We have our R squared value, our correlation coefficient here. That is the R squared. Let's see whether this is correct. So 97.8. So here we have our R squared 97.8. So it seems to do the things right. Now, these bits here are not terribly, at the moment, are not terribly of interest. But here, these bits here, these are of interest. So here for the X, that is the gradient, we get our gradient value, that's 0.44. Let's see whether this is correct. That's the gradient. So here we've got our gradient 0.448, 0.448. So that's right. We've got the intercept 3.5 something. Let's check. Intercept 3.5 something and 3.5 here. So it seems to do everything all right. It also gives us, when we look at the gradient here, it also gives us the lower bound and the upper bound for our gradient here. So we can say that the gradient of this curve is, with 95% confidence, is between 0.355 and 0.54. And that's quite useful. So we can see that the gradient in which we would expect or the interval in which we would expect the population gradient is between these two values, 0.355 and 0.54. Likewise, we can do the same thing for the intercept, or it is given for the intercept. We can be confident that the population intercept is between 1.4 and 5.6. So we can basically say that the confidence interval for the gradient is between 0.355 and 0.54, and the confidence interval for the intercept is between 1.4 and 5.6. So I hope this makes sense, and thank you very much for watching.